I'm ready to continue this engagement with the purpose of ending the war in Ukraine.
The mayor of this city now saying as many as half of the residents may well have fled. But of course, as many people head to the west and to safety, there are still hundreds, thousands of people coming into the city who are fleeing the fighting. And this morning, no sign of any kind of breakthrough in those talks between Russia and Ukraine.
Ukrainian and Russian foreign ministers meeting in Turkey, sitting down face-to-face for the highest level meeting between the two countries since Russia invaded. But speaking after the meeting, the Ukrainian foreign minister Dmytro Kuleba saying Russia isn't ready for diplomacy, insisting instead on surrender, which Ukraine will never agree to. The high-stakes meeting coming after one of the most horrific attacks the country's seen. In Mariupol, a Russian airstrike destroying a children's hospital and maternity ward. It's one of the largest Russian airstrikes since they invaded. The force of the blast leaving a crater stories deep. But the hospital was sparsely occupied. Even so, 3 people were killed, 17 wounded. President Zelensky tweeting videos showing the devastation inside the hospital, saying the attack is an atrocity and that people, children, were under the rubble. Mariupol was supposed to be under a ceasefire, where civilians were to be allowed to evacuate, but the city's been under a total siege for days, and attempts to rescue people have continually failed. All over the country, thousands are attempting to leave cities where fragile ceasefires exist again this morning, but these safe corridors have been repeatedly violated by the Russian military. Ukrainian officials say the only place a substantial evacuation has happened is the city of Sumy near the Russian border, where an estimated 20,000 people were able to flee.
It's an unprecedented situation. Nuclear facilities swept up into war, and this isn't accidental, not like combat spilling over into these places. This is part of the Russian plan.
The world is on high alert. The specter of nuclear disaster looms over the combat in Ukraine. Russian forces have gone after Ukraine's nuclear power plants, including Europe's largest one, Zaporizhzhia, which has 6 nuclear reactors. And Chernobyl, site of the worst nuclear power plant disaster in history in 1986, now decommissioned. Ukrainian officials warning Chernobyl has been disconnected from the national electric power grid by Russia.
It's a situation that is very fragile.
The Ukrainian foreign minister claims that after 48 hours off the grid, radiation leaks at Chernobyl would be, quote, imminent. But the International Atomic Energy Agency counters there is no immediate risk.
There are backup diesel generators. Those can continue to operate uninterrupted for several days before needing refueling.
Now at Chernobyl, more than 200 workers have been manning the plant since Russia took control 2 weeks ago. Russia releasing this video they say was shot inside the plant with their troops and Ukrainian personnel. At Zaporizhzhia, a huge nuclear facility, Russia seized control after a pitched battle, and now Ukraine's energy minister claims the workers there are being held hostage. The safety of both facilities depends on the well-being of their workers.